Hello and welcome to a new series I'm calling PlayStation 1 Classics. In this first installment, the game is Grandia. Grandia was released in 1999 for the PlayStation and originally in 1997 for the Sega Saturn. This is an epic RPG that is definitely one of the PlayStation's best hidden gems and best RPGs I can possibly think of. This is not only one of the PlayStation's best RPGs, this is one of my favorite games of all time. So we're going to start a new game here and show you some gameplay. Now, this game was developed by Game Arts. Game Arts, if you've never heard of them, they did the Lunar series, and they are masters at making excellent RPGs that are definitely memorable, full of whimsical characters, and great storytelling. This game is so impressive that I think it holds up better than just about any other RPG for the original PlayStation. This game is fairly rare, and it sells between $40 to $60 even for a used copy these days. But if you are interested, it's on the PlayStation Network, available for $10. You can get it for the PlayStation 3, the PSP, or the Vita, I believe. This game is just so breathtakingly beautiful, even after all these years. The opening cutscenes were definitely built to impress. These kind of things would, be shown off in store kiosks, and make you think, whoa man, I can't wait till I can afford to buy a PlayStation, right? There's just something special about this. It really reminds me of a Studio Ghibli production. It's definitely 90s, I'll give it that. If you've never played a Grandia game before, or maybe if you've heard of the Grandia names, it is a series. There are several entries in the series, but the later entries don't have anything to do with its original game, and it's much like the Final Fantasy or Dragon Warrior games that way. Each game is self-contained, and it might be a series, but they're really have nothing to do with each other. So if you like what you see here, it doesn't necessarily apply to Grandia 2, etc., etc. Like I said, this game was originally developed for the Sega Saturn and released in 1997. The PlayStation version is a port of the Sega Saturn version, and it is actually a little bit inferior to the original Saturn version. It runs a little bit choppier, it's not as high resolution, the videos are a little bit more compressed, and the load times are a little bit worse. But all that said, the Sega Saturn version was never localized outside of Japan, so the only way to play it in English is the English version here on the PlayStation. Which is a bit of a bummer, but I'll take it because this game has to be experienced. Now, before anyone complains about the voice acting, all I'll say here is it's good. It's just classic. Classic is the word, in the way that Resident Evil's voice acting is classic. I wouldn't want them to change a thing.
I guess I must have dozed off. I had that dream again. The bastards, they're hounding me. Mullen, where are we now?
It's only been a half an hour since you asked last. You look tired, General Ball.
I keep telling you, Mullen, when there are no soldiers around, you should call me father.
Excuse me, but Lieutenant Lean is still here.
Oh, it's just like you to answer like that. But you know that Lean is a very special part of our military plans. Aren't you, Lean? The third excavation of the Salt Ruins is almost finished. I'm counting on you too. Mullen, Lean.
We've assigned an elite battalion of our forces to this excavation. I'm sure that we'll hear good news.
The current time is 13:40 hours. Now passing through Parm airspace. Our ETA is 15:30 hours.
Lean, open the viewports for General Ball.
Yes, Colonel Mullen.
I love the visual style of this game. It's 2D sprites in a 3D polygon rendered background. It might look primitive by today's standards, but it really does look impressive for the original PlayStation, and I think the visuals, most of all, stand up. I think it's very easy to see why this game looks so impressive and, you know, was so eye-widening and jaw-dropping back in the day. When people saw this, you know, even compared to the likes of Final Fantasy VII, you know, this was spectacular. When I was a kid playing, you know, Super Nintendo RPGs and Sega Genesis RPGs, I could imagine, you know, what RPGs would look like in the future, and this was kind of what I had in mind. Not to say that modern-day RPGs don't look good, but I would love to see, you know, some developer go back and develop a game in this sort of art style. With beautiful 2D sprites and a 3D environment. I love it.
Hey, you!
More excellent voice acting time.
This'll teach you, you punk!
Oh!
Oh, Justin, not you again. You just don't learn trashing my shed again.
I didn't trash it. Why won't you listen to me? I'm staking my pride as a man and my soul as an adventurer on this treasure hunt.
Shut up! There's no treasure in all that junk. Now you've completely trashed it. Anyway, don't ever hunt for treasure in my shed again. You hear me, boy?
Ouch. That awful man, he never ever understands.
Justin! Justin, you okay? That sounded like it hurt.
Oh, Sue, did you see that? Don't worry. A punch like that, nothing to it. For a first-rate adventurer, it comes with the territory.
Right. So how'd it go? Did you find anything in the shed?
Nah, nothing at all. It really was all junk. Must have guessed wrong. But Sue, what about you?
Of course I found something. Ta-da! Here it is, the legendary armor. I found it all by myself. Oh yeah, Puppy helped too. Here you go, Justin, the legendary armor.
Great, Sue. That's the first one. That leaves the Shield of Light, the Warrior's Helmet, and the Spirit Sword.
Don't forget, we gotta get him by sundown or we'll lose. Yuck, I don't want to marry that awful god. You know, it's really your fault, Justin. You're the one that took Gons up on
Well,
his dare.
thanks for watching, guys,
You better
and I'll
take
see you next time.
responsibility.
Okay, I know.